RRC functions. So can anyone tell what are the three different modes of RRC entity? Three different modes. Niharika. Netra.
Yes, sir.
Three modes. Which are the three modes? Data transfer modes. Any others?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Transparent mode, an acknowledgement mode, unacknowledgement mode.
okay, fine. So what are the two different which are the
Sir,
four
nimdu
RRC
voice
states,
break ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ.
four different RRC states. That we have LT has only two states. Can anyone tell which are the two states?
ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ
Two
ಸರ್
states
ನಿಮ್ದು.
of RRC states, which are the two states which are used in the. Okay. ಈಗ
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಇವಾಗ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದೆ.
two states of LT. Anybody?
Idle and connected, sir.
Okay, fine. So today we'll move on to the mobility management. So here the LTE mobility management. So the LTE mobility management functions can be categorized into two different groups. One is mobility with the LTE system, that is intra LTE mobility, and the other one is mobility to the other system, other than the 3GPP system and non 3GPP systems, that is inter or over the X2 interface. So here when the user equipment will move from one node to the another node, so within the same radio access network, that is RAN, which is attached to the same and that belongs to the different RAN, which is attached to the different MMEs, or if the two E node Bs are connected over the X2 interface, then the mobility will takes place over the S1 interface. So here the inter RAT mobility essentially uses the S1 mobility with the only with only the difference being, that is in the case of the PDCP context is not continued. So here we have the S1 mobility as well as X2 mobility. So moving on to the X1 mobility. So here it is very simple to the UMTS serving radio network subsystem, that is SRNS. So the reallocation procedure and consists of the following steps. which is shown in the figure. So everyone cannot of this figure, so it's very important. So make a note of this figure. Data management.
ಸರ್
Yeah.
ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಸರ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ.
ಈಗಲೂ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ?
ಇವಾಗ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದೆ ಸರ್, ಅವಾಗ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್.
ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಏನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಸರಿ, ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್.
Completed.
Yes, sir.
So here in the S1 mobility, we have three different phases. So first we have the preparation phase. Second, we have the execution phase. At last, we have the completion phase. So here in the preparation phase, so here once a decision has been made for the handover and a target MME and to the E node B, so have been identified, so that the network needs to allocate the resources on the target side for the impending handover. So here in the preparation phase. So the MME will sends a handover request to the target E node B by requesting it to step up the appropriate resources for the user equipment. So here once the resources have been allocated at the target E node B, so it sends the handover request ACK signal to the MME. So here once this message is received by the MME, it will send the handover command to the user equipment via the source E node B. So moving on to the execution phase. So here in the execution phase, once the user equipment will receives the handover command, so it will responds by the performing the various RAN related procedures which is needed for the handover, including the accessing the target, that is E node B, by using the random access channel, that is RACH channel. So here in the execution phase, so the RAN related procedures for the handover so here while the user equipment performs the handover, so the source E node B will initiates the status transfer where the PDCP context of the user equipment is transmitted to the target, it is E node B. So here once the status and the data have been transferred to the target E node B and the user equipment is able to establish a radio access bearer, that is RAB, on the target E node B. So it will send the handover confirm message to the target E node B. So here in the execution phase, so when the target E node B receives the handover confirmation message, so it will sends the handover notify message to the MME, so that the MME then informs the source E node B to release the resources originally which are used by the user equipment. So this is about the mobility management over the S1 interface. So here we are having the three phases. That is preparation phase, execution phase, and completion phase. So here in the preparation phase, so once a decision has been made for the handover and a target MME and the E node B have been identified, so that the MME will send handover request to the target E node B by requesting to set up the appropriate resources of the. So once the target handover request, it will send the handover request ACK to the message is received by the MME, the hand will to the user E node B. So in execution phase, so once the so it will do the perform the handover, so that the source E node B will initiates the status transfer where the PDCP context of the user equipment is transferred to the target E node B. So Here the source E node B will also forwards the data which is stored in the PDCP buffer to the target E node B. So here once the status and the data have been transferred to the target E node B and the user equipment, which is able to establish a radio access bearer, that is RAB, on the target E node B. So it will sends the handover confirm message to the target E node B. So in the completion phase, so once the node receives the hand informs the source uh, E node B to release the resource to release the resources used by the user equipment. Have a X2 mobility. So here in the X2 mobility, the X2 mobility over the so the mobility over the X2 interfaces is that the default mode of operation in the LTE unless the X2 interface is not available between the source and the target E nodes B. So here when this is in the case, so then the mobility over S1 interface which is triggered. So the mobility interface is the previous phase, execution as well as completion phase. So everyone make a note of this figure, mobility management over the X2 interface. Please make a note of this figure. Completed. So here next two mainly just having the three phases. One is pre-phase, execution phase as well as completion phase. So in the preparation phase, so once the handover request or decision has been made by the source E node B, so it will send the handover request message to the target E node B. So it will send the handover request. So the target E node B upon the receipt of this message will works with the MME and the serving gateway to set up the resources to the user equipment. So here the resources are set up on a per RAB basis, which implies that upon the completion of the handover, so UTE will have the same RABs with the same set of quality of services as it has the force. So as it has E node B. So here this process will makes the handover quick, so and seamless, and the user equipment is not required to set up the RAB with the target. So the E node B once the handover is completed. So here the target E node B will responds to a source E node B with the handover request ACK, that is acknowledgement handover request acknowledgement once it is ready. So in the execution phase, so upon receiving the handover request, that is handover request ACK, so the source E node B sends the handover request command to the user equipment. It will send the handover request command to the user equipment. So while the user equipment will complete the various RAN related handover procedure, so the source E node B will start the status and data transfer to the E node B. So in the completion phase, so here once the user equipment completes the handover procedure, it will sends the handover completion message to the target E node B. So then the target E node B will send a path switch request, that is request to the MME or the serving gateway, and the serving gateway will switches the GTP tunnel from the source E node B to the target. Target E node sends a message to the source E node B to release the resources originally which is used by the user equipment. So in the case of X2 mobility, so both the PDCP processed and the PDCP is unprocessed packets are sent to the target E node B during the status. So the PDCP will the PDCP processed packets are the data packets that have been transmitted by the source E node B to the user equipment, but the user equipment has not yet acknowledged the request, acknowledged the receipt of such packets. So here in the PDCP, unprocessed packets are the packets which are buffered by the PDCP layer that are yet to be transmitted by the source E node B. So here an additional feature called as the selective retransmission. So the additional feature which is called as the selective retransmission, which is enabled in the LTE, where the target E node B may not retransmit the PDCP processed packets that were forwarded but were acknowledged by the user equipment after the status transfer was been initiated. This is three phases of the X2 mobility. So is there any doubts in the S1 interface and X2 interface? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ?
Yes, sir.
So moving on to the next, we have a RAN procedure for the mobility. So here the RAN is related to the RAN related mobility management. Procedures will happen between the user equipment and the E node B, or between the user equipment and the MME, in order to enable the user equipment to hand over from one E node B to the another E node B. So here to prevent the ping pong effect between the two E node Bs, where when the user equipment undergoes the RRC state transitions, the mobility management in the two states, that is RRC idle state and RRC connected state, is designed to be consistent. So here the user equipment will select the E node B, which is the best radio link quality, which is indicated by the signal received power, that is RSRP, for the LTE cell, and by the reference signal code power for the UMTS cell. So here by selecting the E node B or node B, which is the best quality, is optimum from both the interference management and a battery life point of view. So here some of the factors such as which are also included in the handover decision process. So here the measurement report from the user equipment, which will contains the radio link measurement for the neighboring E node B, is the primary mechanism which is used by the network to trigger and control a handover procedure. So here for the intra LTE handover, so the five events which are trigger measurement reporting. So in that we have the five triggers. The five events are event A1, event A2, event A3, event A4, as well as event A5. So here in the event A1, so the serving becomes better than the absolute threshold. So in the event A2, so the serving cell radio link quality becomes the worse than the absolute threshold. So similarly, the event neighbor cell radio link quality becomes better than the relative to the serving cell. So event A4, so here in the event A4, so the neighbor cell radio link quality becomes better than an absolute threshold. So in the similarly in the event A5, so the serving cell radio link will link quality becomes less than the absolute threshold, and the neighbor cell radio link quality become better than the another absolute threshold. So similarly for the inter RAT handover, there are two events that can be trigger a measurement of the report. So in that first we have the event B1, and the second we have event B2. So in the event B1, so the neighbor cell radio link quality and the different RAT becomes the better than the absolute threshold. So similarly the event B2, so here in the event B2, the serving cell radio link quality becomes worse than the absolute threshold, and the neighbor cell radio link quality on a different RAT, which will becomes better than the another threshold. So here the RAN procedure, so the time to trigger the parameter which is chosen to prevent the user equipment from ping-ponging between the eNode Bs. So here in the RRC idle state, the user equipment will decides when a handover is required and which cell or frequency the user should target. So here the EATRN, that is EUTRN, allocates the absolute priorities to the different frequencies, and these priorities are conveyed by the system information message, which is a BCH channel, that is broadcast channels. So here the priority of each cell is determined by the user equipment, which is based on the priority of the frequency and the radio link quality of the cell. So similarly in the RRC connected state, that is RRC underscore connected state, so here the EUTRN will determine the optimum cell and the frequency for the target eNode B in order to maintain the best radio link quality. So here the handover, which is initially based on one or more of the events that has been triggered a measurement, that will trigger a measurement report, that is A1 to A5 and B1 to B2. So here in the RAN procedure, so the EUTRN may initiate a handover without any of these triggered events, which is called as blind handover. So here all the hard handovers in the LTE are hard handover, that is the user equipment that can be connected to the only one eNode B at the time, and it is usually a backward handover where the target eNode B will control the handover and request the target eNode B to prepare for the handover as well as to allocate resources for the user equipments. So here when all the resources are allocated and the target eNode B is ready to send the RRC message by requesting the user equipment to perform the handover. So here the user equipment will uses the random access procedures in the target eNode B to establish a connection and execute the handover. So here to obtain the physical layer synchronization, such as the time and frequency synchronization and the initial open loop power control estimates, the user equipment needs to use the random access channel. So here the user equipment can be use the dedicated random access channel resources, thus by eliminating the possibility of the collision. So this is about the RAN procedures for the mobility. So next we have the paging. So here paging is a connection control function for the RRC protocol. So here the paging message is used to inform that the user equipments in the RRC idle state or RRC connected state about the system information change or about the earthquake and tsunami warning systems, that is ETWS notification. So here the user equipments in the RRC underscore idle state are also monitors a paging channel to detect the incoming calls. So here the system information that can be transmitted a number of times with the same content within a modification period. So here upon receiving a change in the notification contained in the paging message, so here the user equipment will knows that the current system information is valid until the next modification period boundary. So EUTRN will indicates the paging procedure by transmitting the paging message at the user equipment's paging occasion. So here, if the ETWS notification is indicated, so ETWS is capable, will reacquire the system information, which is the block information block, which is related to the ETWS immediately without waiting for the next system information modification boundary. So here one paging frame, that is a PF, is one radio frame in which the EATRN, that is a EUTRN, can page the user equipment. So here one paging frame, that is a one PF, may contain one or more or one or multiple subframes. So in which a paging message can be transmitted. So here in the each such subframe, it is called as paging occasion, that is PO. So which is configured by the EUTRN. So here the paging information is carried on the physical downlink shared channel. So